Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Somehow we're still awake for the final hour. Well, not still awake. We did fall asleep, so I guess we did fail this year. So that just means we're going to have to come back next year. An hour and 40 seconds left here in the 24 hours of Le Mans. In it's 100 years since the first running of this race. And it looks like the Ferrari is going to pull off the victory right now, but that is not guaranteed just yet. It's a Toyota still trying to chase him in second, and the Ferrari was just into pit this past lap, and the Toyota will be coming into pit this next one, and they are going to be doing fuel only. And this one is not over yet. If you are looking for how the NASCAR is running, the NASCAR did experience some gearbox problems, some very serious gearbox problems last night, and is now dropped all the way down to 39th and is far, far, far away from passing anybody else on track, most likely. Even if somebody wrecks, probably is not going to be able to make a position, but currently runs in 39th overall. The last car still going. Go through most of your running order here real quick for you guys. At the front of the field, the 51 Ferrari right now up in front by about a minute and 50 seconds, but that lead's going to grow once Toyota comes in for its pit stop. And then you have the number 2 blue Cadillac in third place. They're 2 laps down. In fourth place, you have the number 3 yellow Cadillac, 3 laps down. In fifth overall, in fifth in class, the number 5 Porsche Penske, and he is 6 laps down. And then in sixth position, the number 50 Ferrari, which is also 6 laps down. And then in seventh place and eighth place, once again, the 2 Glickenhaus cars, both 8 laps down. And then further back in ninth, the number 93 Peugeot, which has had more problems since we were last live and is now 12 laps down. And then in 10th, you have the leader of LMP2, and that is the Inter-Europool Competition 34 car. And he is being chased currently by the number 41 Team WRT, who is 37 seconds back. And then holding on to the final position on the podium in that class is the Team WRT 31 for now, but he is being chased by the Ducati 30 car, which is only, I think, about 10 seconds back off of him. Actually, yeah, that battle for third place, the final step on the podium in LMP2 is only a 7-second margin right now. And right now, though, GT also kind of becoming a wasteland as the Corvette has set sail by a minute and a half over the Aston Martin, which has been able to get by the Iron Dames and drive away from them. But the Iron Dames have still got about a 30-second lead, 40-second lead actually over the Project 1, or the T-Rex Mobile, which is in fourth. I think the T-Rex Mobile has an outside shot of catching up to the Iron Dames. Most likely not, but we'll see what they can do. We still got an hour to go. They'd be having to make up about 2 seconds a lap or so on the Iron Dames. But right now, the Toyota, trying to stay on the lead lap ahead of this Ferrari, so that way if a safety car were to come out, they would be able to stay on the bumper of that Ferrari and not be pinned a lap down, basically. All right. Got some morning voice, slowly waking up here. D-bass and vocals, yeah, I'm awake. We were trying to come back at 7 a.m., but boy, I was too tired. Who wins? Le Mans. Ferrari. Any, but what the? Thanks to everybody watching right now. Hey, we got 10 people in here. Feel free to drop a like, hit that like button, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're coming back for the final hour. Appreciate anybody tuning in. Let's go. A lot of people are experiencing probably some track limits warnings here down this to the finish line. As each driver gets 5 track limits warnings before they're given a penalty. Yeah, honestly, I don't see almost any way the Ferrari loses this overall race unless something catastrophic happens, which is kind of a bummer, but thanks to anybody watching right now through the 23 hours that we've had so far. A lot of warnings going out for exceeding track limits. Right now, the gap from first to second, 3 minutes and 5 seconds. And then it's another, basically the blue Cadillac is about a lap behind the Toyota in second place, and the yellow Cadillac is about a lap behind the blue Toyota. Or the blue Cadillac, not the blue Toyota. Yeah, I think the most interesting battle here down the stretch, I think Hypercar, the gaps are pretty much too big for anything to change. In LMP2, you definitely could see something change between your top 2, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But I think the battle for third, there's only that margin has been going down. Now it's just a 10-second gap. It was like 14 seconds, so the gap from third to fourth decreasing in LMP2. That's the final step on the podium. At the front of the field, it's 12 seconds, so that gap's also starting to go down a little bit. So the battles in LMP2 could be heating up. And then in GTE, I'd been saying how I was saying how the TRX was going to try and catch the Iron Dames, but now they are in the pit. Now I'm not totally sure this is all going to work out, but Iron Dames currently holding the last step on the podium, and they've got about a 45-second advantage over anybody that's going to try and catch them. Bummer about the Garage 56 transmission. Yes, I know. It's a bummer, but hey, at least they're going to finish. That was what the transmission is what got the previous NASCAR that was in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, so I guess it's only fitting that that was the part that failed on the Garage 56 car. I hope we see something like this again, like with the NASCAR and endurance racing, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I highly doubt it, but I hope something, like, they're able to figure out some way to do something. Yeah, on LMP2, the gap from first to second going down. Now it's 11.9 seconds. And further back, the gap from third to fourth overall is looking like it's 10 seconds right now. Actually, 9 seconds. Oh. Okay. I just want to make sure this leaderboard is all correct. Here we go. Yeah, if we look at this here, the top four all in LMP2, keeping it interesting, all still on the lead lap. So if we did see a safety car, I think LMP2 would definitely be one to watch. I think if we saw a safety car, GTE, I mean, there's only 3 cars still in lead lap, I think, for GTE. But LMP2 would certainly become interesting. Currently less than 50 minutes to go, honestly. I don't know if I want a safety car at this point because earlier on they were taking about 30, 45, 50 minutes to clean up. So if we did get a safety car, it would pretty much take us almost to the finish. Yeah, we have not seen a yellow flag in quite some time on the racetrack. Yeah, the last double yellow was almost an hour ago. And the last slow zone, oh boy, I don't even know when the last slow zone was as we scroll through here. Yeah, the last slow zone was like 4 or 5 hours ago. I think that we might have even been live for that. No, it was like 3 hours ago. I don't know. Anyways. 11.5 seconds the gap from first to second in LMP2, and then the same 11.2 seconds from third to fourth. Thanks for everybody watching right now. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you have not already. Ricky Harding, the Garage 56 transmission, I don't know, something broke. I was not actually watching when it did. It happened early this morning our time, midday, at the racetrack. Oh, yeah, it cost them 50 laps, which is pretty, or not 50, it cost them like 30 laps, which is almost like an hour and a half in Le Mans time. They're now currently the last car still running the race, which is still 39th out of 62 cars that started. Pretty much where they started the race. They started in 38th. But they can't even pass anybody, I think, because of how far they are behind the next driver. So, looking here, thanks to everybody watching right now. 45 minutes to go here shortly. Now it's down to 10 seconds, the gap from first to second. And yeah, right now, anybody that's in pit road at this point onward is making their final stop of the race. On the 34, trying to put this 30 car lap down. 30 trying to get in the battle for a podium position, but has got the 34 LMP2 chasing him down. Yeah, now they enter the Porsche curves for the third with this battle from first place car trying to put the fourth place car lap down right now. And this might be costing the 34 some time. I'm trying to look at that margin. It's down to 10.1 seconds. He's been in the toe of this 30 car, or more so the dirty air of this 30 car for about, a sector. So, yeah, and look at that. It costs the 34 6/10 of a second. The gap down to 9.5 seconds. And he's still not ahead of him as they come onto the main straightaway. The 30 is going to try and go hard because they know that they got to stay on the lead lap just in case that safety car comes out. Yeah, and as they go up the hill, that dirty air definitely playing a factor. The 34 really aren't able to close up to the back of the 30, and now he's got one of these Peugeot hypercars on his bumper that he's going to have to make way for. And now, yeah, with that that dirty air off the 30 car, the gap now down to 8.8 seconds, so he has lost 1.3 seconds just in the last couple sectors. And the 25 going to come down to pit for GTE. They were running in second before this, I believe, before this pit stop, and they're going to come back out. It looks like they will come back out still, I think, in second place. Right now, the 86 holding on to the third and final podium spot over the Iron Dames on their outlap. They've only got like a 5-second gap over the Iron Dames. All right. Anyways, the laps winding, or the minutes winding down. Ferrari making up, a little bit of time on Toyota, but he's going to need a safety car at this point. He's not going to be able to just make up basically 3 minutes on his own. Yeah, the Corvette is almost a lap ahead of GTE right now. In LMP2, the gap down to 8.4 seconds right now, as the leader has gotten around that number 30 car, so he's at least got that buffer zone at the moment. But it cost him about 3 seconds trying to get around that 30 car. So the gap is shrinking from first to second in LMP2. Thanks to everybody watching right now. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you have not already. Appreciate it. We're going through here to the finish. The Corvette pits from the lead of GTE, but he basically has a full lap lead. Corvette currently showing these Europeans some American muscle. Now the 31 LMP2 is into pit from third, making their final stop. All right, D-Base. Well, nice you're able to find an onboard. And the 30 Ducati car is now moved into the third position with the 31 in the pit lane. But I believe they also still have to make one more pit stop. It would be really nice if on the website they showed the fuel levels for these cars. That way you know, oh, this guy still has to make a pit stop. Looking at the overall running order right now. So there's 39 cars still out on the racetrack. Technically 40 are still eligible to finish. I'm pretty sure the Yoda's parked it. Oof. 40 minutes to go. The Corvette is dominating in GTE, but the battle, it looks like, for a podium position is heating up as the GR Racing 86 has the final spot over the Iron Dames by 5 seconds. And in LMP2, the gap from first to second is just 7.8 seconds. And then once the third place car makes its stop and cycles back out to fourth, we'll have a tight battle between third and fourth as well. Looking at a replay here with the 30 car. Looks like they maybe were getting a little bit offline. Thanks to everybody watching right now. Thanks to everybody watching right now. Thanks to everybody watching right now. Just trying to keep tabs here on these battles coming to the finish. It's really, we're just looking at LMP2 at this point. Pretty much the Ferraris got the victory locked up, unless something crazy happens. How about the red Cadillac? Even though they had that incident on lap 1 that put them 17 laps down, since then, they're now 19 laps down to the leader, but have worked their way from last all the way back up to 17th. Now, I don't know if they're going to be able to pick off any more spots than that, but they're not even going to finish anywhere near the last place in class. They will finish, actually, maybe the top 10 even. Yeah, they're currently 10th in class. And we've got the number 41 in to make their final pit stop of the race. Before the 34 also will come down to the pit lane. Keeping tabs, keeping tabs. So, in GTE as well, in the 86 GR Racing Porsche currently holds the final podium spot by 3 seconds, actually 5 seconds over the Iron Dames. And LMP2, got to keep. We still got the leader of LMP2. I think still has to pit as well as third place, and then things will cycle around. And they're gonna cut to commercial break here with 35 minutes to go. Whew. Staying in. It's trying to stay awake here for this final lap. Ooh. All right. We got 35 minutes left in this one. It has been a long 24 hours. Now hold on just a second. You guys see the Corvette looking good? Okay, just looking at the chat right now. Is Ferrari gonna win? And most people are saying Ferrari. It's just like anybody but Ferrari. Car 56 gets a warning for abusing track limits. I think once you get a warning for abusing track limits, that's when you basically used your final warning. Okay, you have the leader of LMP2 and the third place car of LMP2 making their final stops right now. Now, where will they cycle out relative to the 41 Team WRT car and the 31 Team WRT car? Got 33 minutes left right now. Everybody making their final stops of the race. And at this point in the going, we are looking at who has spent the least amount of time in the pit lane that is still essentially in the race. Okay, in terms of who has spent the least amount of time in the pits that is still going, it looks like the number 85, the Iron Dames, have spent the least amount of time in pit lane of anybody with just 35 minutes. And then one of the Ferraris has spent 36 minutes. The AF Corse has spent 37. And the 25 Aston Martin has spent 40. But they got some damage at some point that they had to tape up a bit. But if you look at it, that is 5 minutes right there that the Iron Dames have saved themselves just in the pit lane compared to who they're racing around. I mean, that is a big chunk of time right there. But now, even though the Corvette has been in the pit 8 minutes longer than the Iron Dames, they are about a minute or 3 minutes ahead of them on the racetrack. Oh boy. The number 2 blue Cadillac has spent the number 8 Toyota has spent 43 minutes in the pit lane. The 51 Ferrari spent 46 minutes in the pit lane, but that 3-minute difference is not enough. Actually, I just want to see, in terms of the pit time, how much time the Garage 56 spent in the pits trying to do repairs. Oh, wow. So they've almost spent most time in the pits of anybody, and they're still out there, so at least that's somewhat impressive. Yeah, they spent 2 hours almost in the pits this morning. So, yeah, that was a big cost. Thanks to everyone watching right now into the final half hours of the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 2023. Oh my goodness, just trying to stay awake here. Okay, looking at this battle. Oh, we got a slow Porsche, I think. Number 3 Cadillac making its final stop. Okay. Yeah, but there's a Porsche that is slow on the racetrack, and I'm not sure if that is the 5 or the 6. But anyways, back to LMP2. It's 11.5 seconds from first to second, and then 11.1 seconds from third to fourth. And then still holding on to that final podium spot in GTE is the GR Racing 86 by 9 seconds now over the Iron Dames. Okay, it is the 5 Porsche that is slow on the racetrack right now. Yeah, that Porsche, by the way, is running 6th overall, and if they have these problems, as the 6th Porsche goes by him, that'll be That'll be a spot for the Glickenhaus cars to move them up to 6th and 7th. Trying to keep tabs on the battle though in LMP2. 11.6 seconds the gap from first to second. Now it's only 7 seconds from third to fourth. Bounce against the drive shaft, possibly on the number 5 Porsche. You're looking at the hypercar right now. Number 5 Porsche. I'm going to start dropping down the running order here as these problems continue. The Porsches definitely have struggled this weekend in the hypercar class. Thanks to everybody watching right now. Oh boy. Woo. I'll be back in just a second. Oh boy, we're having a runny nose conundrum here down the stretch. No, I think 24 hours might just be a bit too long for a broadcast. I think 12 hours might be like a good, hey, like the 12 hours of Sebring. That might be the money number. Ferrari, though, continuing to chill out front. They got a 2-minute, 45-second lead, so even a safety car at this point, I feel like how long it's taken for them to do the safety car procedures. I mean, if we get a safety car right now, it'd pretty much end the race. In LMP2, the gap's staying at about 11 seconds, and it went down to 7 seconds from third to fourth. Now it's back up to 13, so not sure what's happening there. The number 5 Porsche limping it to the pit lane. And they might just retire it after this one. We will see. And they bring the number 5 Porsche to its team. And they're going to be putting this thing in the barn most likely right away. Right now, the Corvette got a 2-minute lead over the Aston Martin in the GTE class. The gaps right now in LMP2, they're close, but they're kind of staying stagnant right now at 11 seconds from first to second, and now it's actually going up from third to fourth. It's up to 14 seconds. So it looks like the Team WRT 31 is starting to lock in that final step on the podium. But can the Team WRT 41 chase down the Inter-Europal Competition 34 before this thing's over? Oh, boy. Just don't want to get a track limits penalty right now if you're in that battle for the leads or in a battle for the podium positions in LMP2. Let me start watching right now. Is the 56 back in yet? Yes, it is. You need to do Gator Nationals. All right, yeah. How was them pancakes? Oh, they're good. They're good back when we ate them like last night. I don't even know what I'm gonna eat when this thing's over. I'm so tired. I think we're gonna have to rethink the strategy on this one next year, so that way I'm not as exhausted. Maybe have a better sleep the night before I do this 24 hours. At this point, the Ferrari, it is going to take a part failure or going off track. I mean, it is. But truly, this race has come down to durability. The top two cars have not had any problems really throughout this race. Number 2 Cadillac didn't have a very big issue either in third. So, and those are your top three. Everybody else in the hypercar class has had some sort of problem that has cost them multiple laps on the track. Also, the Glickenhaus number 708 moves up into 6th, getting by the 5 Porsche, which has been in the garage now. The 709 Glickenhaus will be making up a position next lap, which will be a great 6th, 7th result, most likely for that team at the end of the day. 51 Ferrari in to make their final stop of the day. Thanks for watching right now. So we got 2 minutes. The gap coming down between the Ferrari and the Toyota. Obviously, the Ferrari's in the pit lane, but yeah, I mean the Toyota. It's gonna take a miracle for the Toyota to make up that time. LMP2, the gaps are starting to spread. It's 13 seconds now from first to second and 16 seconds from third to fourth. Wait. Oh, the 51 having to go through a power cycle here, I think, in the pit stall. The 51 stalled on pit lane. Lights are on the 51, and oh, okay, the 51 away. That was a scary moment there for the Ferrari. That might have cost him like 30 seconds, but that's not going to be enough right there for the Toyota. Oh boy, that could have been real bad. And now it looks like the Toyota is thankful that we don't have many more pit stops because they have stalled it now twice trying to get back going. And they had to cycle power, and it might have cost them an extra 50 seconds or an extra 30, 40 seconds. But still, at this point, they have a 3-minute lead. That's not enough. They still have a big enough lead to basically pit again, most likely. And the number 2 Cadillac in pit from third, and it looks like they might be replacing a nose here on the 50 Ferrari before this race is over. Still 13 seconds gap from first to second place in LMP2 and GTE. The battle for the final spot on the podium is still 7 seconds, so the Iron Dames versus GR Racing right now. Oh, we got a brief yellow flag, I think, somewhere. Let's see if we can update on that yellow flag update. Oh, and it's one of the Glickenhaus cars. Oh. Uh, so it's the 709 that has gone into the barriers. And we got the. So the 709 Glickenhaus. Now, thankfully for them, at least in terms of position, they're going to have to get scooped out by somebody. So they're going to have to put the yellows out. So that is the 709 Glickenhaus car, I think, once again. And right now they are kind of lucky because the next car back is the Peugeot, which is 4 laps off of them for position. So that should give them enough time to get back out on the track. And then the number 5 Porsche ahead of them is still in the garage. So they still might be able to catch them for position depending on how fast they can get going. Currently 50 seconds the gap from the Ferrari to the Toyota, but the Toyota I think should be in the pit this lap. If not this lap, they'll be in the next. The gap's staying flat at 13 seconds between first and second in LMP2 right now. In third and fourth, it has really grown up to 20 seconds now, so that one's pretty much, that battle's kind of coming to an end. Number 8, Toyota is in the pits right now, making their final stop, trying to make up some bit of ground on the leading car. But I just don't think it's going to be enough at this point. And then the battle for third in GTE, that gap is up to 7 seconds with 17 minutes to go. And the Toyota is out of the pit lane and away, but they are going to be a minute and 45 seconds back off the Ferrari. So, yeah, that slow pit stop for the Ferrari cost them about a minute of their lead, but still, it's pretty much going to take a miracle for the Toyota to catch up. I mean, it's going to take the Ferrari having some problem. And then the Cadillac in third, driven by Earl Bamber right now, just stuck in no man's land. Same with the yellow Cadillac, just really nobody to contend with. The red Ferrari has recovered back up to 5th. They were down in, I believe, 10th or 11th at one point. The Glickenhaus 08 is back out. Earl is back out on track, kind of stuck in no man's land as well. The Porsche is still in the pit lane, and I don't think they've gotten the have they gotten the Glickenhaus car out of the mud yet? I don't think so. Yeah, I think he's still stuck in the mud in 8th. But if he can get going and get back around the racetrack, he'll pass the Porsche for 7th. But then the Peugeot 93 is trying to keep hustling, so that way they can maybe leapfrog both the Glickenhaus and the Porsche 5 and get back up to the 7th place finish. And then the Inter-Europol LMP2 car currently runs 10th overall while leading the class. And its lead just, staying flat at 13 seconds right now. And the gap is now up to, 7.6 seconds from 3rd to 4th, I think, in the GTE class. Thanks everybody watching right now. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate it. And the slow zone has been removed. We are green flag racing again. With 14 minutes to go. Thanks to everybody watching right now. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe before you head out. Thanks to everybody watching. I don't know. I might do the NASCAR stream later. We'll see. I mean, it's going to be streamed by the bot, so there's really no point. All right. So, up to 5 likes. Appreciate it. $13 is still the lead from first to second in LMP2. The LMP2 car catching a little bit of brief traffic, but I mean, really, it's going to take heavy traffic for the 34 to give up 13 seconds on the racetrack right now. Oh, the number 31 team is into pit. I don't know. Does the 30 still have to pit? I'm not sure now. We'll see what happens with this. Yeah, the Iron Dame's really starting to lose some time to the GR Racing 86. That gap's now up to 14 seconds. The Dakini 30 car up to third place, while the 31 team WRT car is in the pit lane. We'll see what happens with all this, how it shuffles down. With that Glickenhaus moving, it has gone past the Porsche, moved into the pit lane. Now it is 7th overall in the race, and Glickenhaus are 6th and 7th overall, which is a great effort for that team. But as the Porsche number 5 just continues to sit in the garage stall, it looks like that their day might be coming to an end. And oh, they're placing the nose on the 31 WRT. This might give that 30 car that not big enough time advantage to move ahead and get that final step on the podium. But it looks like the Peugeot will also pass that Porsche before the end of the race and move up to an 8th place result overall. And then that will be the only spot that the Porsche still loses because he's got big enough of a time gap. At the front of the field, the Ferrari slowly set sail throughout this race. They started on pole, so we knew they had the fastest car over the span of one lap. And when the race started early on, they got shuffled out by the Toyotas. The Peugeot had a roll at the front at one point. The Porsche was beating the Ferrari at one point, but through it all, they haven't made the mistakes. They've kept it clean, haven't had many reliability issues, and they've just slowly been able to overtake the Toyota on the through raw pace over this race. Battle LMP2, the battle for the lead is just slowly ticking up now, up to 14 seconds. So it looks like time is starting to run out for the 41 Team WRT car. And it looks like unless something catastrophic happens to somebody right now, looks like I'd say all your podium positions are pretty much locked in. Hmm. '51 Ferrari just chilling as he goes down the back straightaway into the first chicane. Got a minute and 45 seconds to give, so you could just sit there, take a sip of a coffee if you wanted, maybe grab a croissant, get back going, and still maintain the lead right now that he's slowly built up over the last 23 hours and 50 minutes. Oh, it looks like the number 5 Porsche might be going back out. We'll see. And yeah, I think they're going to send the number 5 Porsche back out on the racetrack. We'll see. And on P2, the gap's just growing right now. And just like that, the gap's all growing in all the categories. Oh boy. Time running out, only 8 minutes left. Nobody's trying to make another pit stop right unless they miscalculated their fuel mileage. The number 38 Yoda going back out on the racetrack here, it looks like. Those 2 hypercars trying to get back out just so they could be credited as finishers. It looks like the number 5 Porsche is not going to be able to get back out on track, but the Yoda should be able to. Ooh. Oh. Ferrari going to slow it down on purpose to 3 minutes. Ferrari, if they do 3-minute 38-second lap times, then they will go slow enough for them to do 1 less lap of this race. And they have such a big lead, they can give up that time. We've done 340 laps. We'll probably end up doing 343 laps in this year's running of Le Mans. We have spent 3 hours under the safety car during this race. Well, right now, looking at the running order overall, we are going to most likely have I'm correct. It looks like we are going to end up with 38 finishers in this year's running of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And as we look at the LMP2, the gap from first to second up to 16.5 seconds. It's going to take a miracle there. It's going to take a miracle in Hypercar. In GTE, 2-minute lead for the Corvette. Still only about a 10-second gap from third to fourth in that class, but it would take the GR Racing 86 making a mistake to cost them that step on the podium, and I don't think they're going to do that after leading earlier on and then being caught out by some rain and having an incident. They have recovered, and it looks like they are going to be at least credited with a podium finish for their hard work. And right now, if it looks like the Toyota is making up some good chunks of time on the Ferrari, it's mainly because the Ferrari is probably letting off to save the team from running one more lap and just risking breaking another part. The gap is down to 1 minute and 39 seconds, but I don't see it getting, even if it took with a Herculean effort or if the Ferrari really slowed down, the Ferrari at this point could basically give up 30, 40 seconds each lap before we got to the finish and still easily win the race. Oh, number 5 Porsche trying to go back out to get a finish. Thanks to everybody watching right now. '51 Ferrari out front by a minute 36 right now as the clock's just ticking down. Everybody's spread out at this point. The Peugeot has gotten by. The 93 Peugeot has gone by the 5 Porsche, so it's going to get an 8th place result for them, it looks like. And this is the final lap for the Ferrari. Here we are after 24 hours. Oh my goodness. We've come this far. In LMP2, it's too far back. In GTE, 10 seconds the gap from 3rd to 4th. After starting with 62 vehicles, 24 hours later, we are down to just 38 finishers. We have a NASCAR. We have Ferrari once again back in the hypercar class. We have the Cadillacs, the Porsches. Nobody was able. The Porsches with their reliability issues throughout the last 24 hours. In LMP2, the inter-Europol competition, the tale of two stories. One car crashed out on the very first lap. The other has pretty much dominated the entire class. It has faced some challenges from the Team WRT 41 car, but in the end, it looks like it's going to be able to hold them off to get the victory in the LMP2 class and a 10th overall place finish. In the 51 Ferrari, how about it? In their first year back in the hypercar class, they are going to pick up the victory here out the 24 hours of Le Mans. In GTE, the Corvette came from 3 laps down to winning by 2 minutes on the racetrack and spending about 3 or 4 minutes more on the pit lane than any one of these drivers. So really just a very impressive run from the Corvette all around. Just has so much raw pace between the drivers and the vehicle itself. And only 9 finishers out of 21 starters in GTE. We saw quite a bit of attrition, so just as they were saying on the broadcast earlier, just finishing this race, that is almost like a victory. I mean, it's a hard thing just to finish the race, and then even harder to win it all. So winning is truly something incredible. Thanks to anybody watching right now. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Oh my goodness, I am so exhausted. We've been going for 24 hours. Go Harvick for later today. Ginger Williamson, how you doing? Yeah, it looks like we will be back possibly with the NASCAR race at Sonoma later on today. But here we are. As the clock expires, everybody is flocking down to the main straight. The Ferrari, after putting the Peugeot another lap down. And now as it comes through the Porsche curves for the final time, The 51, they had dominated it for quite a portion in the middle of the night, and then they spun it into the gravel, went a lap down pretty much, and it looked like they might have just thrown it away, but they fought back and just passed the Toyota and the Cadillacs on raw speed. And now, as they come back to the home stretch through the final chicane, the 51 Ferrari is going to be victorious at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Oh my goodness, what a race, ladies and gents, what a race. Coming home in second place will be the Toyota, number 8. In third, the blue Cadillac. That's your top 3 for Hypercar and LMP2. Tinter Europool Competition 34 is coming through the final chicane. Almost runs it wide there, but will now finish and get the victory in LMP2. And then give it second place to the Team WRT 41 car that gave great chase to the Inter Europool competition car throughout the whole race. And then the Duquini team able to steal third place and get a solid result there. And then the Team WRT car actually dropped all the way down to 5th there. The Alpine able to sneak up into 4th before that race was over. And then in GTE, the yellow number 33 Corvette coming from 3 laps down to winning by over 2 minutes. What a victory. And the Aston Martin number 25 suffered some hood damage early on. They also recovered. And the GR Racing 86 has claimed third place after recovering from a crash as well. Thanks to everybody who's tuned in for this one. Frankly, I'm so tired, I'm about to go right back to bed. Thanks to everybody who's watched. We'll be live with some NASCAR action later today, probably. But I'm going to end this one here. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. I am exhausted, and I'm going to go to sleep. Whew. Congrats, Ferrari.